So let me get this straight. In 2011, the WWE signs The Rock to a part-time contract and showers him with attention. Now, the WWE signs Brock Lesnar to a part-time contract and showers him with attention. Okay, now, what does that say about the current state of the WWE roster? What does that say about CM Punk and Sheamus, who are supposed to be our world champions, right? If this were a boom period, if this were the Attitude Era, if we had full-time megastars like Stone Cold and The Rock, would the WWE need to sign stars from 10 years ago to come in part-time? No! Right? There's no long-term benefit to signing old guys part-time. They're not going to be on tour, they're not going to be at the house shows, and they're not going to stick around, right? So then, why would the WWE do this? It's because they have no confidence in their current roster. It's because people don't care about The Miz. People don't care about Jack Swagger. People don't care about Dolph Ziggler, right? So the WWE needs to go and call up The Rock and convince him to come in to show up on Raw every once in a while. And now they got Brock Lesnar to come in and show up on Raw every once in a while. You know, again, what does that say about Sheamus and CM Punk, our world champions? As you can see for yourself, The Rock and Brock Lesnar, they don't even fit in with today's PG era product, right? The Rock is a product of the Attitude Era. Brock Lesnar is a product of 2002, when the product was still edgy, right? In today's PG era, they stick out like sore thumbs, right? They look like men among boys, stars among ham and eggers, you know? Brock Lesnar, he looks like this big grizzly bear surrounded by little teddy bears. He's a TV-14 product surrounded by all these cartoony PG-era characters. 'Cause I'm awesome. You know, Brock Lesnar feels completely different from that. It feels like he's from a different universe. And what about the hypocrisy of some of these WWE fanboys? Look, anytime you mention the Attitude Era, anytime you mention the 90s, anytime you mention the good old days, these fanboys come in, start bashing us, saying we're living in the past and we should just move on. Well, look at the WWE. They signed The Rock to a part-time contract, have him dominate WrestleMania 27, dominate Survivor Series, pin Cena clean at WrestleMania 28, and now we have Brock Lesnar part-time. Look, the WWE looks like they're living in the past as much as we are, yet these fanboys are supporting them every step of the way. Look, what hypocrisy, you know? Yet I would expect nothing less of today's PG-era WWE fan base. Now, moving forward with my ongoing opinion series on wrestling's disconnection with the fans, we come to the next chapter, which asks the question, if everybody's special, then how is anyone special? Let's talk about champion saturation. There was a time when being a wrestling champion really meant something, you know. Very, very few people used to become champion, you know, and that's what made the titles prestigious, because they were nearly impossible to win, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it was. But that's not the way it is anymore, is it? To see the way things are going, let's take a look at the TNA Knockout division. Wrestling titles should only be for the best of the best, right? Well, here's a list of wrestlers in the TNA Knockout division, at least most of the roster. Of this list, 7 out of 10 are former world champions. That's 70% of this list are former world champions. Are you kidding me? But that's not the end of it. If you count the tag titles, then 100% of this list are former champions. Are you kidding me? How the heck do you have a division where pretty much everyone's been a champion? I forgot to put ODB on this list, and even she's a tag team champion right now. This is completely ridiculous. So if everybody's already been champion, and everybody's already fought each other, then what's the point anymore? It's time to pack up and go home. The WWE, in my opinion, needs to take a really close look at the TNA Knockout division, because it represents, in my opinion, a condensed version of what's happening to the WWE titles and the dangers of champion saturation. Look, being a WWE champion used to mean something. It used to represent the pinnacle of a career. Very few people used to become champion, and that's what kept the product going, because everybody else would be chasing it. But when you have a product now where you got all these guys becoming champion, when you got ham and eggers like The Miz and Jack Swagger posing as champions, then what's the point anymore? When you have reached champion saturation, you have reached your creative end game. You have reached your product end game. The product is finished and the fans no longer have a reason to stay connected. The TNA Knockout division has dug itself to the point where almost everybody's been champion. It has reached its product end game. The product has come to its creative end, right? It's finished. It's over. You know, in my opinion, the only thing they can do now is just clear out the roster and start all over, because the product is done. There's nothing left to see. All right. Now, moving along with our theme of titles in the wrestling, let's move on to Chapter 4, win streaks. You know the wrestler Crimson in TNA? I was thinking, could Crimson's win streak be the most pointless and irrelevant win streak in modern wrestling history? I mean, when you think about guys like Goldberg, Mr. Perfect, Tatanka, Samoa Joe, even guys like the Narcissist and Ludwig Borga. Could Crimson's win streak be the most irrelevant win streak that nobody cares about in modern wrestling history? I mean, see, this just goes to show you the limitations of win streaks in wrestling. How win streaks can only play a supporting role in a push. How if a wrestler has not properly connected with the audience, just how useless that wrestling win streak is. I mean, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around, does it make a sound? Well, if a wrestler goes on a wrestling win streak, but nobody gives a shit, is it really a win streak? I mean, what exactly does he win? When the fans are connected with a wrestler, only then does his win streak matter. When Goldberg's win streak was going on, the fans were going nuts. When Tatanka's win streak ended, the fans, they were gasping, they couldn't believe it. And when the Honky Tonk Man's record-setting Intercontinental title streak was ended by the Warrior, the fans were flying out of their seats. But nobody cares about Crimson. He could win forever or never, and it wouldn't make a difference. When people think of win streak, they're still going to be thinking about guys like Goldberg, because they actually care about that guy. At WrestleMania 28, it was announced that Cody Rhodes is one of the longest reigning Intercontinental champions ever. I don't give a shit. I don't care about Cody Rhodes. People don't give two shits about Cody Rhodes. You sometimes even forget that he's even on the roster. Look, when he dropped the belt to the Big Show at WrestleMania 28, it felt nothing like the Warrior Honky Tonk Man. It felt nothing like some kind of epic thing happened, because people don't give two shits about Cody Rhodes. These days, the WWE seems to think that they can make stars simply by throwing belts onto wrestlers and giving them title reigns. TNA seems to think they can make Crimson a star just by having him win matches. What universe are these writers living in? Here's a novel idea. How about some consistent character development instead? Building characters that people actually care about and then patiently rising them through the ranks, huh? Are promotions willing to do that anymore? Are they willing to not be lazy anymore? Are they willing to make a wrestling win streak actually worth something? Even though we all know wrestling is fake, when a wrestler truly connects with the audience, none of that matters anymore. You are just going nuts for the wrestler, and any win streak he goes on, it almost becomes like a movement, you know? Like, here's an example. Do you want to know why you will never see me or any of my friends buying Taz merchandise, wearing any Taz t-shirt, or giving Taz any kind of major compliments whatsoever? It's because of this. How dare he end Kurt Angle's win streak? What the hell? You know, it's still the first thing I think about whenever I see Taz. Kurt Angle getting choked out by that Taz mission. You know, how dare he? We will never buy Taz merchandise. That's like customers lost forever, you know? If he wants to end Crimson's win streak, go ahead, who cares? But end Kurt Angle's win streak? No Taz merchandise purchased ever again. Who cares if wrestling's fake? You know, Taz should have refused to beat Kurt Angle. He should have been like, you want me to beat Kurt Angle? What the hell? You know, that is an Olympic gold medalist over there with ridiculous charisma. I am but a mere future color commentator. I refuse to beat Kurt Angle. That is what Taz should have said. That is what he should have said. And this is what being connected to a win streak looks like.